Julio asked a good question. Can Poly and Aztec tattoos be combined? And I had to ask myself this question because I was getting requests on Aztec. So let's see some Aztec tattoos that I've done. This first one, you guys seen it.
Yeah.
That's an Aztec calendar, and then we did a mixture on his shoulder.
Ooh,
and
that's nice.
Almost like a half sleeve. Right here. So this is all one piece. He has the Aztec calendar on his chest. It went over onto a half sleeve. This is the back view. And then, I posted that. When I posted that, I got a lot of requests. A lot of requests for Aztec. This is the inside of that piece. And then here's a new piece that I'm working on. And I decided to show it. I hardly post any in-progress pieces, especially like this, because it's not even halfway done. But part of the topic, we're going to talk about it. This is another piece that we're working on, that I'm working on.
Oh, yeah, we do. From Glenn. Glenn says, you sound a bit frustrated about this topic. What is it that frustrates you?
Oh, good call, Glenn. It's not that it's frustrating. Or maybe frustration is the word. I don't know.
Maybe the frustration is I have to repeat myself. Maybe.
Actually, Glenn, I think what you're seeing is exhaustion.
Yeah,
I'm exhausted.
That's for sure.
I'm exhausted. The past week or month has been just
crazy.
piled on. Not only am I tattooing, but I'm working on big projects.
Yeah.
Really big, and I keep talking about it, and it's getting deeper and deeper, and it's building up, and I'm tired. I'm tired, but that's why we were like late here for the show, but we're dedicated, we're committed to you guys. But I guess also the frustration could come in that there's no answer.
Yeah.
I've never seen any direct, like guaranteed, solid answer. Yes. Can you combine Polynesian and Aztec tattoos? Yes.
Yeah.
Or no, you cannot. And because of the fact that you're going to have two sides.
We still looking at the same tattoo?
Two groups, and they're both going to have different answers, basically. Well, here's another view of the Aztec tattoo. Like the hybrid,
Yeah.
There's different symbols, different tribal designs, different cultures. It's so deep because I've been studying the Aztec and Mayan culture, and I got all these things. I mean, I'm just studying. I mean, I'm not even done with Polynesian, and I'm studying all these things. My clients bringing me books, which is great. I got this from him, and now I have to read a whole nother book, which is great because it's hard to find Mexican and Aztec cultural books.
Yeah, it's hard.
So this is all good stuff. But then it did make me say, wait, I'm diving into like Mexican Aztec culture here.
Oh, it's just Aztec.
Aztec.
It's just, because Mexican's like a settler's term. Yeah, it's Aztec.
Okay, so you're closer to this subject matter.
Well, my grandma was Aztec, and I'm part Mexican and part.
See, and it's hard for me because I'm trying to be
appropriate,
because
I mean,
that's the difference. I didn't grow up in that culture.
Yeah, I don't think it's an offense thing because not a lot of people know. It's more like it's bringing awareness to it. Because just like the natives here, I mean, it's the same as the South.
Right.
The Spanish did come from the South, so the Spanish came into, they all speak Spanish, but they're in Mexico. But I grew up learning that there was the people from like the settlers' world, and then they'd be separated, and then Indios were the natives who lived on their own, and they were the Aztecs or the Mayans. And there's hundreds of different tribes down there besides the Aztecs, the Mayans, and the Incas. So, but yeah, the Aztecs.
It's crazy because within every culture, you're gonna have groups that believe different things within that culture, and then within those groups, they're gonna have different beliefs. And it just breaks down and breaks down and breaks down and breaks down, and separates everyone.
Exactly.
And I'm all about uniting everyone.
Moving forward,
sharing culture and unity. And when we start saying, are you able to do this, or you can't do this, you why, and all this stuff. You start justifying it, or you start trying to make or create a reason why it's okay, and that's where the frustration comes, I guess, because it comes, I guess in some people it comes from a really good place, a peaceful, pure-hearted place. But I could understand that some people it doesn't. It comes from a money place, a glory place, a me, I place.
Yeah.
And that's where it could get, there's a conflict there, and I don't want to fight that fight because I don't come from that place, so I don't want to have to justify it. But I don't have to, because I know my heart, and I know the result. The end result will show itself. But I also want to, be appropriate and respectful to everybody. There's another piece I was working on, actually, right here. Again, in progress. I would never show this, but this is part of the show.
Yeah.
This was a Native American up north. So he brought in some references. He brought in, so let's see. So on his arm, actually go to the next one. So there you see this design. So he brought in this reference. It's a how do you say it? Wampum?
I wouldn't know.
Wampum?
That's probably their language, but it looks like a beaded, like,
it's a belt. It's like they call it a wampum.
Let me see.
Here, look.
Turn it around.
Here, this is what it says right here.
Wampum. Yeah.
And I mean, we talked for a while, and he explained these belts, and each belt meant something different, and he wanted this is part of his culture, so he wanted these designs incorporated into his tattoo.
Yeah.
So he even gave me a lacrosse, an old like leather lacrosse, and
stickball.
I didn't stick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stickball.
Well, I didn't know this was Native American.
Yeah, they're originals. They're the ones who, a lot of them have. I mean, from the south of the Midwest to the north, they all had stickball games, and it was a tournament, but they all played them different. But you always had stickball. To this day, they still play stickball.
So on the back of the arm, that's the inside of the arm. I have another photo on the back right here. I have this design, and the funny thing is as I was doing this design, I put it on the opposite way that you see, and because I just went with the flow of his arm, and then he said, "Oh man, it's backwards." See, this is a belt, so I don't know what's upright or downright or whatever because it's a belt. But he then said it's upside down because it's supposed to be a tree. So so again, this is good knowledge and learning. This is good learning to find out that that's what this represents. But again, the main point of all this is to say, here I am getting requested to do these pieces, and they're drawn to my work for a reason. They come all the way out here. He's from New York. He flew all the way out here, and
I mean, could I say something like kind of like why I think people do?
Yeah.
I mean, to me look at the piece I gave you. I was like, Josh, I want you to do this. And probably all these people come to you for the same reasons, because they know you take the time out. And you've always said that I take the time out to put my heart into my work. So I came to you with my culture like, hey, this is what I want. And because I know you're going to look at it and give it the respect that needs to be put on me. You're just not going to draw something up and slap it on me and be like, hey, you're good to go. Just like the rest of these guys, they're bringing you certain things to be like, here, can you look at it? Can we do it? And you are going to be honest, but at the same time, you're not just going to do it and not be educated about it. And that's the big difference between artists who just, I'll draw anything, to someone who actually takes the time out and puts their heart into it.
Right, and I'm not going to lie. I mean, in the beginning, I just drew anything too.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like just drawing it to draw it. You have to progress, you have to learn, you have to grow. And that was my journey to, and I started that way. I'm just like doing my best and drawing whatever I can. And that was just the evolution, I guess, of IslandTAT, myself, in the style that I do.